All right, so this is a fascinating one. Alabama traveling to Wisconsin to take on the Badgers in Camp Randall. Let me tell you, that environment is going to be raucous. I love Camp Randall. That place will be jumping, jump arounds to be precise. One of the best traditions in college football. That place goes absolutely ballistic when jump around plays. And I can't wait to see it take place on Fox's big noon kickoff this Saturday. As an Alabama alum, I'll be honest with you. This is a game that's I've had nightmares about because historically Alabama struggles in this circumstance where they're traveling to an atmosphere to a venue that they're not used to. It takes Alabama about a quarter to acclimate to their surroundings in a new place. Alabama is very acclimated to Tiger Stadium. They're acclimated to Oxford, Mississippi, Neyland Stadium, places that they play frequently. Alabama dominates in. But when the Tide go to a venue that's they don't play in often, usually there is an acclimation and adjustment period. We saw this when Alabama went to Austin to play Texas several years ago. I think you'll see this take place on Saturday as well. However, in this particular scenario, I don't think that the upset risk is considerably high. I think that Alabama, at the end of the day, will pull this thing off. Alabama's biggest advantage going into this matchup with Wisconsin is how they finished their game against South Florida. They were dominant. The offense was clicking. There was synergy there. They're driving right down the field and scoring, capitalizing off of explosive plays. Defensively, Alabama really fastened. They got tight, and they started to make great stops on South Florida. And when you finish a game like that, regardless of how choppy, how chaotic and sloppy that Alabama's game against South Florida was, if you finish strong the way that they did, that momentum will carry over into the following week. And Alabama, as a program, they're great going into this scenario as well because they know the expectation that's around this game. They know that they're going into a raucous environment against a Big Ten opponent. The Wisconsin football program, although they're unranked right now, it's no joke. And Alabama knows what they're getting into. And in these games, when the back's up against the wall, Alabama thrives. It's those like South Florida games coming off a massive win where historically Alabama has struggled. I think that the circumstances, despite playing on the road in a place that they're not particularly used to, I think that the circumstances favor Alabama here. Jalen Milroe, he presents a dual threat attack that I don't think Wisconsin has seen very often either. So you want to talk adjustment? I think that'll take Wisconsin a while to adjust to. However, the advantage that Wisconsin has is their defensive backs. That's what I consider to be the most dominant component of their defense is the defensive backs. And that's going to be important this Saturday because Alabama's biggest threat on offense, besides Jalen Milroe's mobility and his ability to extend plays, is Ryan Williams. Ryan Hollywood Williams, the 17-year-old. True freshman. He has been amazing. And Wisconsin will need a top-class defensive back performance to prevent him from going off again this Saturday. From a passing standpoint, Wisconsin has a kind of anemic. Tyler Van Dyke, he's been inconsistent this year. I'll come out and say he has a total of 406 passing yards on the year, and Wisconsin's top receiver had 53 yards against South Dakota last week. So it's not a very passing-oriented team. But as always, Wisconsin is run heavy. That's been their identity for years. It still is under Luke Fickell. And I think that they're just going to try to ground and pound this thing out against Alabama. And I think they'll be successful for about the first quarter. I think that they'll keep the score low, maybe like 7-3 going into the second quarter. And then I think Alabama will turn it on. Once they get past that noise component, once they get used to Wisconsin's physicality and how they play the game, it's a slower pace. So sometimes it takes teams a while to adjust to that. Like Alabama had to adjust to that against Michigan when teams are very run heavy and they're not trying to run up the field fast. They're not fast paced. They take it down a couple notches. It's like trying to hit a knuckleball. So I think Alabama will have to adjust to that as well. But ultimately, I like the Tide to pull this off. I'm going to go with a weird score here. I'm going to go with 34-16. Alabama. They're 15.5-point favorites going into this game. And I like the Tide to win this thing 34-16, which will mean that they'll cover. So there it is. There's my prediction. Take with it what you will. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and the time that you took out of your day to watch the video. And if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and share it, as well as subscribe to The Era. The more likes and subscribers I get on this channel, the more resources I can attain, and the more resources I can attain, the more value I can provide to you, the viewer. And that is how I show my appreciation for you for the time that you devote to watching my videos. So thank you so much, and have a great day.